Hello and welcome to Gaga Knits. My name's Anita and I live in South Wales in the UK, and this is my little part of the internet where I talk about my crafty life and places that I've been that I think may be of interest. I record a video on the last Tuesday of every month, so this is my July episode, but I am a week early this month. It's the 19th of July, I think, Tuesday the 19th, because we are away on holidays in Devon next week and I won't be able to put a video up, and I thought some of you might be wondering where I am. I hope you've had a nice month since we spoke last. The beginning of the month, my grandsons had an inset day from school, so they came to stay with us, which was lovely. They came on the Sunday night, stayed all day Monday, and then I took them home Monday night and took them to school Tuesday. So we had great fun. We've been having lovely weather here in the UK, so we went over the field and I bought them these frisbees that you pull a string on a handle and they fly up in the air. So we were over there playing with those for a while and looking in the river and things. And then when we came back, I made them a little den in the garden, put the little paddling pool up, and we had some water pistol fights, and they used some old wool to tie all around the garden to make it a bit of an assault course, to make it a little bit harder to get each other with the guns, so we had good fun with that. And then my friend and I went on a coach trip. We went to Windsor for the day, so we saw the castle and had a little walk around there, and then the next day we went to the Hampton Court flower show, which was wonderful. It was glorious weather, it was very busy. We had a great time there. I bought a Venus flytrap and I bought another plant. I can't remember what it's called, but I know the last name's Oscar, but I think I might have killed it because when I brought it home it had a lot of green fly on it. So I put in a spray bottle, I put some fairy liquid with water and I blasted it quite a lot, and then I rinsed it off, but I think I might have killed it with fairy liquid. But I planted it in the garden and I've given it a good water, so hopefully it'll survive. We'll see. And then when we came back from the trip, I caught COVID again, so that's what you might hear now. I was really quite poorly. I had a bad, very, very bad cold and a cough, and I tested negative for the first time today, so that's great. And I've got to do another test tomorrow, and if that's negative, I can go back to work. But so if I do sound a bit hoarse or I have to stop and cough or sniff or anything, I'm really sorry. I've got a drink of water. Haven't done anything of Christmas in July, so I'm honouring it with this fairy lights glass. That's all I can do. Oh, and I forgot. Let me just go and get something that I bought when I went to Windsor to show you. So I thought I'd got everything. So I'm sat on the floor in my living room. This is where I usually sit and do my crafting because there's a lovely big window behind. So I've drawn the curtains as advised because we are in a heat wave in Britain and they've said to shut the windows and draw the curtains. And that's the sunny side of the house in the morning. But if I sit on the settee, my camera doesn't like it. It just puts me in. Sorry, I thought I was I wasn't on video then. So if I sit on a settee, the camera doesn't like it. I'm in silhouette, which some may say is better, but not very good for a video, is it? So when we went to Windsor, we went into a department store, an independent department store called Daniel's. So I've not been in there before. And I managed to pick up in their haberdashery department some of these little blue buttons for the Charlie dog that I'm doing. I need to do a blue eye and a brown eye, so I'm hoping they will be all right. They've only got 2 holes though, and I do like 4 holes for buttons when they're going to be animal or toy eyes. They just look better, but hopefully these will be all right. And then I also bought a little swan for Jack and Harry's farm. They've got a barn here and I'm buying these what's the make? It's a German make of animals. Every time I go anywhere, I try and pick one of them up because they're quite expensive, and I thought a swan was very apt for Windsor because the Queen owns all the swans in Britain, doesn't she? So I thought that was an apt toy, so I just wanted to show you those. And as you may know, if you've been watching for a while, I have been bringing all my craft stuff down from my lovely little craft room into the dining room, living room, and whittling it away because Martin's had the craft room as a room for an office for marking, because that's far more important than my crafting. So I've been tidying things away, and I have used my nice big footstool that I got from IKEA, and it's inside, you can keep things inside it. So in there I have got my works in progress and my finished objects, and I'm going to keep it like that. So on the left I have my works in progress, and on the right my finished objects, so I can show you. So I'm sat on the floor with it next to me so that I can just reach over and get everything. I'm just going to have a drink a minute, sorry. So let's get started with finished objects. While I've been ill, the first few days, I didn't want to craft at all. That's always a sign of me being very ill. But I did read a lot. I read and slept. I read a book called The Dry that I had, my sister-in-law gave me because she had 2 copies when we went to visit her recently. And it's based in Australia, and a family are killed, and it's just a detective story. It wasn't too bad, that's all right. And then I read a borrow box book called Hetty's War, about a Jewish girl living in Jersey during the German occupation. And now I'm reading one, another borrow box one, I can't remember what it's called. And it's sort of a detective thing where this girl goes back to the village that she used to live in. It's set during the war again. It's okay. It was just I needed to read something. If I'm not crafting, I need to be reading or doing something, and I didn't have any energy to do anything else. But anyway, finished objects. So the last few days, as I've been feeling a bit better, I thought I'd finish a few projects off. So I have finished the socks that I started knitting quite a while ago, and they are called the Bridge Before Home socks, and they're by Angela from Knitting on the Farm. And here they are. They're still a bit damp because I blocked them yesterday and put them on my washing line, and the sun's coming around now, so they'll dry off. And this yarn was the very first indie dyed yarn I bought. It was from, I think it was called Sarah's Texture Crafts, but she doesn't dye yarn anymore, and it's really, really lovely. Now I've blocked them and I've stretched them on here a little bit because I'm size 5 and they just feel a little bit tight in the foot. I knit 42 rows on the foot before doing the toe. I think maybe I should have done a few more. They're on 2mm needles, and I don't usually knit my socks on 2mm. So I'm wondering whether, well, obviously that had something to do with it. And it's just a heel flap and gusset. And then I think it's called Eye of Partridge when you do it, so that the you get that sort of effect. And then there's got this lovely little pattern going along there where you do elongated stitches. And I wish now that I'd done more rows. I did 3, but I could have done 5. I think they would have looked nicer. And then it's just, I think it was a 1x1 rib. So long ago. But anyway, I'm happy with those now. I'm going to go and put those back on the line once I finish this. And they can dry off properly, although it's far too hot to wear anything like that now. But the card, I'm still using my little cards. They're coming in quite handy. Right, I have another finished object that all I needed to do was sew up and put the buttons on, so I'll show you that now. And it's a little baby matinee jacket from this book. And here it is. And you knit it in pieces, and I was using the 4-ply yarn that was a cone that I got from Shaw's. I think it's Mariner's yarn, and I've still got that much left of this huge cone. So I'm thinking I might do a baby blanket or something with that. So here's the little cardigan. I'm really pleased with it. It's a little eyelet sort of pattern. And it was knit in pieces, and then you had to join them together. I think it was, they've got the old-fashioned needle sizes on there. I have so many notebooks that I start meaning to put my projects in and then stop. So I've got several. I've got my bullet journal, this one, and lots of others, but this project I put in this one here. And I've been using my little printer, my mini printer that Jodie and Josh and Matthew got me for my birthday. So that's quite good. So I've got the details on there. I've got the yarn, and then what it is, the date, and some details on the sticker. So I had to use 3.25mm needles. So I used those all the way through. And then you had to crochet these little hoops to do the buttons. I've not done that before, but they're quite cute. I'll put a picture in so you can see it better. I was a bit unsure of it at the time, but I quite like it now. You had to just add those. So it's a nice little cardigan. So there's 2 little boys due to be born soon, and one or other of those can have that. And my cone of yarn, I've got to decide what to do with that. And then you might remember a very long time ago, one of the projects I was meant to be finishing up this year was the Plants vs Zombies corner to corner crochet I was doing. It was going to be a blanket, but I'd never done corner to corner before, and then doing it with all the different colours was proving quite challenging. So I put it to one side, and I said to Harry, my oldest grandson, who I was making the blanket for, I was going to make it as a cushion instead. And then he told me that when they were staying over recently, he's gone off Plants vs Zombies now. He's more into Pokemon. And then he had all these Pokemon cards, and he said, look through these, Gaga, and tell me which card you'd like, because there's one in there that you'd like. So I flicked through them all, and then I knew which one he meant. It was a little animal called a Zubat. So it's a crocheted bat. Here, I've got the little picture here. And I said, oh, that's the one I like. And he said, I knew it would be that one. And I said, would you like me to make one for you, Harry? And he said, oh, yes, please. So it was a bit hard to find because Pokemon isn't a thing anymore. I know these things go round and round. And the children in his school, they're all swapping cards, but I don't think there's much interest in them. So I found this pattern by Nicole's Nerdy Knots, and it says on Ravelry, there's all her details, but it's no longer available on Ravelry. So I had to go to a site called Makerist, and then I could download it from there. And I'm not that brilliant at crochet, and I did get a little bit confused, but here he is, the Zubat. So I'm thinking Harry will be quite pleased with that. It's quite cute. And I did get a little bit confused on some of the instructions. It's probably me not being able to read them properly. So here he is. And I did put a picture of him on Instagram. And I know some of you were wondering what he was. So here he is. This is who he is. He's a little Zubat. I think the lighting, sorry about that. And then the actual pattern says to use felt there, but I actually crocheted a little circle, and don't know if I crocheted a circle and then did his little teeth. So he's all wool, there's no felt on him. So that was that. So I finished that one. Well, I did that while I was ill because it didn't take very long. And then I finished up an old sewing project. So several years ago in Cath Kidston, they had a peg bag with budgies on. I seem to remember it was embroidered, but it might not have been, it might just have been print. And I know at the time I really liked it, but for those of you in the UK who know about Cath Kidston's shops, some of the things are quite expensive, and I just thought that was a lot of money for pegback, so I didn't get it. And I used to think about it then. I thought, I'm just going to go and buy one, because why not? Goodness me, I work, I earn money, I should just buy what I want if I can afford it. So anyway, by the time I talked myself into buying one, they didn't sell them anymore, and I can't even find one on the internet now to show you what I mean. But I've got this book here, and little so-and-so, and there is a peg bag in here like that. And I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Now, I started this project a long time ago. Because I've been bringing everything down from my craft room and sorting it out, I've been finding all these projects that I've sort of semi-finished or got halfway through. I'm trying to finish them all off, because otherwise you have loads and loads and loads of whips. And I know some people have lots of things, but I don't like loads, and I don't like things lying around. And also, you forget how to do something, and it takes so much time to get back into it. It's better just to get on with it and finish them. So anyway, I have finished it. Really pleased with it. So I used some linen, and I just traced out the image, and on the original there's like a funny sort of creature on the top of the washing basket, and I didn't do that. I just put the clothes and things in there, and the flowers and the washing line and some bunting, and then some bunting along there. And it was quite funny because I've been trying to clear out, and because I like lots of different crafts, if I've got wool left over or fabric left over from sewing, I always think, I could use it for something else, and I keep it. I keep all my scraps, and then you have so much stuff. And Karen from Stitches and Jacks was saying the same thing, and she's trying to clear out. So I got rid of all my scraps, and then I realised I needed little scraps for these triangles. So fortunately there were a few that I'd missed, because I said I even keep little scraps like this, and then I could see why now I needed them for that. But I have thrown all my scraps away from this project, because I am going to try and not have so much stuff. And then I just used this fabric on the back. That was a very nice viewer sent that to me in a little package when I think I sent her some fabric that I had left over, and I asked, did anyone want it? And then she sent me fabric back in fat quarters and things, and that was in there. That's lovely. And then I've just got one of the IKEA wooden hangers, children's hangers, and I made it to fit that. So I'm really pleased with that. I keep looking at my little stitching, my little bunny, and you don't need any skill, because you stencil, you trace the pattern, and then really it's just little running stitches. So anyone could do it. I could do it, anyone can do it. And then, so that's all my finished objects, and then we will move on to works in progress. Ooh, sorry, another drink. It's boiling here today. I've shut the windows in the back of the house as well, because I don't want my neighbours to hear me waffling on. Anyway, so I haven't got that many works in progress, because obviously I've finished a lot of things while I've been unwell. So I have started knitting my Charlie dog, which is George the dog from this book. Oh, there he is, George, but mine's going to be Charlie, a girl dog, in memory of my lovely Old English sheepdog who passed away last year. And so far I have done the body here, and I'm using this sheep Scapias stone washed, whatever the book recommends to use I'm using. Oh, and it's lovely. I've never used this before. I bought it all from Wool Warehouse, Oh, it's nice and soft, and it's very variegated, I think you call that. Oh, it's lovely to work with, and it's cotton, 100% cotton. No, it's not. 78% cotton, 22% acrylic. But it's lovely and soft to work with. Really nice. So I can see why everyone raves about this who crochets or makes aragurumi, or, you know, knitted toys and crochet toys and things. So I haven't got that far. And they were the brown buttons I bought. So she needs one brown eye and one blue. So if I put that behind, that help. Let's see if I can hold them up. I don't think they're going to be the right size. For a start, the brown buttons are thicker and have 4 holes, and these have 2 holes. So I'll see, because I want her eyes to look right. So I've done that much on that, and then so that's the only knitting project I've got at the moment, because I finished the socks yesterday, so I have been working on those. And then, because I enjoyed making the peg bag so much, I've started on another sort of stitchy project, and this is a photocopy of an envelope of a card that Harry sent me when he was much younger. And he always, when he was little, he used to write write to Gaga on the front of the envelope of a card, and then he would draw all over the envelope. And I used to keep them, because I think, look what he's done. How could you throw that away? It was on the envelopes. So I've Tipp-Ex'd out the to Gaga, and I've photocopied it. Put that up on my conservatory window. Then I put the piece of linen over the top, and then I draw around the image with friction pen. And then I've started to stitch it. So I've done Harry. I'm going to have to keep putting things behind here, aren't I? So I've done Harry so far, and his little stitching, and that's Nanan. So I've been doing a few French knots for her hair, and then I'm just going to stitch around them all. It's really nice just stitching away on it. So I'm going to take that away on holiday with me, so I can stitch a little bit on that. And it's not, your eyesight doesn't have to be so good, and you don't have to be as accurate as with cross stitch, because you just stitch. And if some of your stitches are a bit longer or shorter, it doesn't really matter. It's meant to look, or I feel it just looks nice that way. So it doesn't have to be perfect. It can be practically perfect. That's all I ask for. And when I was sorting through my things, I discovered this bag, and I thought, what's in there then? And Jack had asked me to make him some socks, and there's his little foot template. I did that in February, and now we're in July, so I think I'll need to do another template, because his foot's going to be bigger. So I thought, well, I'll leave it for a couple of months now, and as the weather gets cooler into September or October, I will start on socks for him. And I've got these easy toddler socks. Now, in November he's going to be 4, and these socks say that they're for a 3.5-year-old, a shoe size 9. So I'm not sure what he is, but I shall try and adapt the pattern. If anyone can suggest any good children's sock patterns for a 4-year-old, if you could let me know, because I found it a bit difficult to find some. So I'm going to knit him those, and I think that's basically it. I've got a craft pod I came across. I think I might have shown this last time, because I'm meant to be sewing the little pouch, the zipped pouch. So I want to do that embroidery, and then also the zip pouch. There's just a bit of embroidery, and then you line a little bag, and then you have all the instructions and everything. I really like the craft pods. I did a year subscription, so they were quarterly. And they are nice projects, nice quality. And I like them being quarterly, you weren't bombarded, but still didn't get to finish them, did I? So that's everything from me. I hope you're all keeping well and keeping the COVID away. Like I said, I'm going on holiday next week. I'm not going to do any photos or anything for the podcast. I'm just going to go away and enjoy the week. I probably will take photos, but it's different when you're trying to think of things for the podcast, because you're not, when you're out for the day, you are enjoying it, but you're thinking, oh, would this make a nice shot or what? And I just want to be in the moment. I want to have a week away, a nice break and a relaxing time, fully recover from this COVID and be back in August all refreshed. I will put some photos at the end here of the Hampton Court Flower Show. Did any of you manage to go to it? It was lovely. I definitely recommend going. But I do like a nice flower show. I like to see all the garden layouts and all the planting plans. And if you buy any plants, the people who are selling them are so knowledgeable because they love the plants that they're selling, because they grow them in their nurseries. Really enjoyable day. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you liked this video and you want to see more and you haven't already, please subscribe and hit the notification bell and click all, and then you'll be notified whenever an episode pops up. So thanks again for watching and see you next month. Bye.